Good day and welcome to another new segment of a new week of A Week at the Plot, but more on that in a minute. As you can see, these beds have had quite a lot of change to them. I was saying last week that I couldn't find cardboard and I was finding it quite a struggle, and one of my long-term clients called me actually about work, not about the plot, and we had a good hour on the phone yesterday morning, and she decided she was going to do something and she basically bought me the liner that you can see on the far end over there, the liner that you can see here, and the liner that will look elsewhere in a moment. And I have covered these beds. This green is one that I put down the other day. This segment here is an old bit that I had of weed suppressant, and that was over there, and I've moved it to here because I think it would be sensible to have a pathway going down there and then extend this growing area here so that people can't walk here. And then over there I have covered it up with the weed membrane, the weed suppressant that my client purchased for me. And I've also done this area here as well. So quite a lot of work done today, and many of the weeds that I have taken out underneath are perennial and have gone into here. And then if we come further up, the bed on the far side of the bench has also now been covered. As you can see, it's the day of long shadows. In fact, let's go over there. Oh, avoid the frog, avoid another frog. I should have shown you those really. So that bed has been covered as well, and as you remember, we found this bit of cardboard, so did this bed the other day. But yeah, I'm really grateful, and let's just pop in the shed and I can sort of tell you the story. So I was sitting at my desk yesterday morning, and I was doing work for Thrower's Sake for Vanessa, and the phone rang, and it was another client who, like Vanessa, has been with me for decades. We've worked together for decades, and she said to me, Paul, the tour that I was hoping to take out in the spring, I now think I'm going to take it out in the autumn rather than the spring. So I'm just letting you know, giving you advance notice of that. And I said, you know, Patricia, thanks very much for letting me know. It's good to know that. Then I won't be looking at sort of income coming in from your tour in the spring. I'll hopefully have that in the autumn. So thanks for letting me know. And then we got chatting, you know, how is she? How am I? That type of thing. How's Richard? How's the move going? You know, all of that. And she had watched, I'd said something about not being able to get cardboard, and she said, oh yes, I saw that on the video that you did on Planet Vegetaria. And then I told her that there was another one which actually came out today, and this is Thursday, by the way, so we're doing some time travel here. It's if you're on Planet Vegetaria, you'll most probably see this on Monday or Tuesday of next week, but actually this is Thursday of the last week of A Week at the Plot, which I closed off on Wednesday. So we got plans for the weekend, so I wanted to sort of close off early. But when I was speaking to Patricia yesterday, I said, you know, some of the beds, they've got plenty of weeds, they've got grasses, I've done perennial weeding, I've done this. And she's a great gardener herself. She's got a fantastic garden, actually, at her home. And we were chatting, and she said, and how's the writing going? And I told her how various things were going, and she said to me, are you sitting down and an hour or two every other day, like you promised me, are you writing your novel? And I said, actually, I'm not. I'm being a bit distracted by other things going on, and I need to sort the beds out and, at the plot. She said, stop about the cardboard. You'll find the cardboard when you find the cardboard. I'm going to send you the weed suppressant membrane that I use in my garden. And I said, oh, thanks very much. That's absolutely lovely. But I know it's heavy duty plastic and it's not single use, but I'm trying to use as little plastic as possible. And she said, Paul, shut up. I've known you for 2 decades. I'm going to send this to you. And what I want you to do before your event at the weekend, what you're doing at the weekend, is get down to the plot and cover the beds that you're worried about. And it was a pep talk, a kick up the arse, and welcome words. Actually, it really was, because I thought, she said to me, the membrane that I'm going to be sending you is, relatively heavy duty. You'll be able to take it to your new place. You'll be able to if you're going to lay a patio, you'll be able to put it down. It'll act as a weed suppressant. It'll be secondhand because you've already used it. Blah, 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 And actually, I went, yeah, okay, Patricia, thank you for your generous offer. And thank you for explaining why it's something that I can happily accept. So yeah, she bought me the membrane, and it's here. It's this is what it looks like. You've seen it down. It's a nice heavy weight. It's about 150 grams, 150 GSM, grams per square meter, or something like that. And we've got a bag flying about. And yeah, I'm really grateful. And actually, as part of what the discussion was yesterday, she mentioned something that Vivi mentioned a couple of years ago in the advent calendar that Vivi's sister gave her, which was all about books. And in that was the story about how friends of Harper Lee had got together and basically gave Harper Lee as a gift a year's salary so that Harper Lee could just sit down and write. And of course, that writing happened, and To Kill a Mockingbird came out of it, which is absolutely fantastic. And Patricia said to me, this is my Harper Lee moment for you. It was sort of like, thank you. She said, instead of worrying about your beds and getting on top of your beds and that taking over your mind and also your time, by covering them, by blotting the sunlight out, etc., you'll be able to collect cardboard as and when you see it, lift up the membrane, put your cardboard down, cover the membrane up, and bit by bit you'll be able to get your beds covered in cardboard even though they're covered in the membrane. And I thought, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And she said, but there's 2 conditions on this. And I went, right. She said the first condition is that, there were 3 conditions actually. She said the first condition is that you need to, I'll get this to you tomorrow, and you need to get on and do it tomorrow before your event at the weekend. So I said, okay, I'll see if I can do that. And she went, no, it's a condition. And I said, right, okay. She said, I know you've got a really strong torch because I bought you one 10 years ago. You can do it, in the moonlight and torchlight if you need to. So, okay. So that's condition 1. Condition 2 was that I set aside at least 2, preferably 3 2-hour segments a week to write my book that I have started. And the third condition is that she gets a signed copy of the first book that comes off the press. To which I said, no way, Jose, no way. I said, if Mum's alive, Mum's going to have that. If I'm alive, I'm going to have it. So I said, but you can have one of the first 11 that come off. And she said, okay, fair enough. I said, you'll have to pay for it though. I'll sign it, but you'll have to pay for it. So yeah, you know, it was, you know, wonderful gift from her, but actually the sentiment and the words and the kick up the arse are really the gift that Patricia has given me. And I've got on with work today. We had to do other things today. I've got on with all of that. I've sorted that. I need to go back to my desk. It's 4:30 now. I need to go back to my desk. I need to do a couple of hours of additional work for her sake, get that done. But I've come down here today, and I don't think, well, I wouldn't have taken this time today to come down here and just feel a bit better because certain things look neater. Yes, there's lots to do. We were talking about strimming, and she said, but you know, when you're doing your strimming, you do your strimming. Don't worry about the beds. You know, you're getting on top of those beds, you're covering them, you're going to put cardboard underneath your membrane, you're going to do all of that. So, you know, strim when you can and strim when it's dry. So yeah, I mean, you know, isn't that joyous? Isn't that joyous? I know I go on about, you know, I don't want to have any new plastic on the plot, but I've given into that, and I've given into that for good reasons. You know, that membrane that I've put down is heavy duty, will do the job over the winter, and then we'll be able to take it to our new home next year and either do the same again, covering beds like we've just done now, or use it as an underlay of a patio, or, you know, something like that. So yeah, I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about it. So thank you, Patricia. Yeah, thank you. You know, as I say, good kick up the arse and great words. So thank you very much. I'm going to leave it there now. I've been waffling. I'm going to leave it there. But I'm really pleased with what I've gone and done today, and I'm really grateful for the gift to allow me to have done today what I have done. And yes, it has alleviated a good chunk of the stress and anxiety that was at the back of my head about getting on top of those beds. I've given them a weed, but I haven't given them a thorough weed, so that membrane is over, you know, some weeds, not perennial weeds, but it's over some weeds. And I'll most probably give it a shallow fork when we get there in the spring. But what I know I'm going to do is systematically take some of the cover off, put the cardboard down when I find it, put the cover back, and just feel that everything is a little bit tidier. Right, on that, I'm going to go back to my desk. I'll make myself a cup of tea, go back to my desk, and do a couple of hours more work. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. First day at the plot for 9 days, 8 days, 8 days, 8 days. So last Thursday week I was here putting this down, or these down. I'm glad they haven't come up during the winds. Lots and lots of rain, and look, this area is not covered, and even though it was a bit weedy, it's now fully weedy. But you know what, I think because this is a wildlife pond here, I'm just going to allow that to grow. Any cardoons like that one in the middle, I may take those out. But yeah, so I've actually come down today just to see what the weather's like. We can see that, and I think I'll do a plot tour for November next week. I need to water in the polytunnel because that's not had any water for a week. But actually what I need to do is go into my shed, because in the shed, gosh, look at these potatoes growing. Wow. If I go into my shed, oh, note for me there. Under here we have some cider, so yeah, that's going to be used for the barbecue this evening, or for the bonfire actually this evening. 6.3%. Yeah, let me get down to the communal shed with this. So that's the cider in place. That's made from the apples from our orchard. I'm not sure if we said that. And then there's also some home brew here. So yeah, and people will be bringing their own and something to share as well. And at a work party shortly, we're just going to be tidying this up and laying the tables out, which is good. The initial heart of the bonfire has been built, including with old bee frames in the middle to really set that alight. So that's great. And then underneath this tarp is a whole load of other untreated and unpainted wood, so that's great too. So hopefully later I'll remember to take a picture or video of this burning. See you then. So the bonfire is now in full swing, which is really great, and people enjoying themselves. Maybe got 50 or so people down here, so yeah, it's going really, really well. People toasting marshmallows, the kids have been doing that. Well, some of the adults have been doing that as well. And yeah, a happy time in all, particularly considering it's now dry and it's been raining virtually all day. So I'm going to say goodbye now, and I will see you again very soon. Bye. Good day. No, my shed hasn't got 4 times as large. This is actually Amanda's shed. She manages Catherine Buckham Meadow. Hello. And she's up there on top of the ladder. We're very sort of, what is it, equality here. So I'm standing down here and Amanda's on the ladder. Good equality. But this is how we started our day, by clearing up from the barbecue and the bonfire. So that was all done, and then the heavens opened and Amanda said, oh, I got holes in my shed, and we had this bit of tarp and we have dragged it over. So Amanda's been up there dragging it from that end. Torrential rain. My hero. Oh dear. And then we come over here and we just need to drag it over just a little bit here, but basically there's a hole in Amanda's shed just this end, and this will keep the worst of the wet weather off. And now you're going to weight it down. Not with me. Yeah, it won't go anywhere if I was weighted on that, I can tell you. But there we are. But yeah, that was that's a continuation of my day. And oh yeah, and the river. Yes, Amanda's got the river at the back of the plot. And you were flooded the other day. Yes. So this is one of the lower plots that gets flooded. So you're safe up there, yeah? I am. I'm not moving till you come back. Right, okay. And then we come through here. I'm all right. And that's the river flowing. You can see it comes right up to the. This is our path, which you've seen before, and yeah, that's the river, and it's a good couple of feet higher than it usually is, but it was, if you can imagine, if I just come down here to water level, it's gone up this area and into there as well. So yeah, but of course lots of good nutrition coming down as well. So right, I better go and rescue Amanda. See you in a minute. Well, it is trying to clear up a bit. Look, there's even some blue sky up there. Maybe we'll be able to get the gazebos away today if they dry out this afternoon. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. They're all down to the ground, but the cover needs to dry out so that we can put them away so that they don't rot, because obviously we want them to last a long time. But yes, it's wet, it really is. And I came into the poly, and sure enough, yesterday my plot neighbours told me that they had watered, and of course they have, which is lovely. And then look at this as well, seedlings. So over here we've got parsley, which are ours, which are to go to the house, but these have appeared from our lovely plot neighbours just next door to us here with the chickens. Red kitten, I'm gonna have to look that one up. That's bet, and that's red chard, obviously, so I think they're all sort of chardy, spinachy. Madania, that's a spinach. And what's that say, matador, I think that's another spinach. But isn't that lovely? Isn't that just lovely to come back off a holiday and find you've got not only your poly looked after, but also lovely gifts as well. Fabulous. I'm so pleased to have got that job done for Amanda. I have left her. She's got a whole load of rope and she's going to be putting it through the eyelets and weighting it down rather than putting things on top of the shed to weight it down. So she's going to be weighting it down from below, which is great. We got some rope, cut it to length, and she's going to get on and do that now. So that's super. I'm pleased that at least we've been able to cover the shed, because she was worried about water ingress. And in fact, somebody asked me a few weeks ago, does your shed get damp? Well, there's quite a lot of airflow within the shed, so things in here don't get damp, but certainly the wood that I'm looking at now is damp on the inside, because we've had so much rain over this past week at the plot. Of course, I haven't been here for much of it, but we had so much rain yesterday, rain on Friday evening, rain much of yesterday, apart from the bonfire, which was just fantastic. You know, we had a few spots of rain, but we had such a great evening. And I was feeling a bit anxious about it, not really more than the fact that I was feeling really tired. You know, go away for a holiday and you come back sort of quite exhausted, and I was just so pleased it went really well. And what was lovely about it is people took control of certain areas. We have a master of the bonfires, and he's fantastic. I'll see if I can splice a photo in here of him, and he's got a great top hat. It's about, I don't know, about a foot, maybe a foot and a half tall, and he's fantastic, and he looks after the bonfire, and he manages the people putting things onto the bonfire so it's not you know, it doesn't become mad. You know, there's two people at a time, that type of thing, who, you know, those people who might want to put things on. When I say put things on, I don't mean we collect. We ask people to put everything that is to burn to one area, just to the side under that tarpaulin. We saw the blue tarpaulin. The tall stack was the one that was built, and everything else was under the tarpaulin, keeping dry, and all of that obviously needs to get put on at some point. So he manages that. We have a master of the coals who looks after the barbecue, and other people, you know, who just do their own thing. So it was quite nice for Amanda, myself, and one of the other plot holders, the master of the bonfire, to come down this morning and have some quiet time just tidying up. I've got a bag of rubbish to take. That will go in my rubbish bin. Amanda's got a bag of recycling to take. That will go into her recycling bin. So everything on the sort of communal side of the site here is all neat and tidy, and in our communal shed it's all back to how it was when you saw it yesterday. That's great. And then, you know, to get that her shed done is brilliant. To see those seedlings I've been given, isn't that fantastic? And I've also looked, because before I was talking last week about some dead nettle we had and a few other things, some poppies in some of these beds that I covered last week. I transplanted some of those into the side border beds, or the edge beds here, because I've decided they're going to be for poppies and wildflowers this coming year. The next tenant can decide exactly how they want them to be, but I'm going to try and keep them as wildflowers and poppies for this next growing season that we are now in terms of our growing year. Anyway, before I start to waffle, I'm going to go. I do feel a little bit wet, and I think I'm going to have to dry off a bit at home. So yeah, I will do that, and most probably have some soup. See you very soon. Bye. Oh no, what am I leaving you with? I'm leaving you with a fantastic, well, it's not panoramic, is it? But when we were in Barmouth, I stood on one of the breakwaters, the main breakwater there that goes out and shelters the harbour. And I did a view. I just turned, you know, I went in a circle, full circle. So it's such a fantastic place, Barmouth. It really is such fantastic views, and the sea, I love it. I absolutely love it. So I am leaving you with me doing a full circle at Barmouth. It was a lovely day, blue skies, as you will see. The waves were coming in, and further along you won't see, but they were crashing in. It was lovely. So I'm leaving you with that. See you very soon. Bye.